Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Take me out to left field. Give me a shot of Fireball. Give me some high fives from Mark Pena and a hug from Jeff Cross as we stand on top of the tables. Hearing the horns, that's a blast. For it's 1, 2, 3 shots from the cannon with the ladies of left field.
Hey, y'all, it's game time with the ladies of left field. And today we have a very special guest with us, Brooks Kieschnick. I've known him for a long, long time.
Longer than I'd like to admit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Love it.
But Brooks is arguably one of the very best collegiate baseball players of all time. 3-time All-American at Texas from 1991 to 93. He's 2-time Dick Hauser Award winner, which for any of you that may not be aware of that, that's given to the nation's top college player. He is 3-time Southwest Conference Player of the Year. Went to back-to-back College World Series in 92 and 93. And in 1993, he threw 172 pitches in a Texas win over Oklahoma State.
That is wild, Brooks. That's a lot of pitches.
Then when it was drafted with the 10th pick by the Cubs, spent 12 seasons in professional baseball. And then currently he is dad to 2 Longhorns, and his son, Brooks, is on our football team at the University of Texas.
Woohoo!
Welcome, Brooks.
What a resume.
Yeah, well, in the 172 pitches, I mean, it's kind of a dubious honor because if I was any good that day, I could have got it done a whole lot less.
Nowadays, though, they would never let you throw that many pitches. So,
No.
your arm didn't fall off is a pretty amazing thing.
Those were Coach Gus days.
I don't think kids throw enough these days. That's why they're all getting hurt.
I know. Well, there you go. I like that way. It's like, yeah, they need more muscle, more reps so they don't get hurt. I love it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and Brooks is a fan favorite of ours out in left field. Mark, my husband always swears, that you were his favorite baseball player ever of all time. And the first time he met you, it was like starstruck. It was so funny. I was like, oh my gosh. And he was like, this is such a big deal. I don't know what to do. And now, like we hang out like friends. So that's always
100%. I love left field. It's a really neat thing that y'all do, and y'all have going. And I've seen it from infancy, now, and how big it is now. From just probably about 4 to 10 of y'all now to hundreds of people out there, and it's really, really neat, and it's national recognition, and what y'all do out there is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, but it's fun for sure.
We have fun.
Yeah, we have fun. We know how to have fun, and we love you coming out there. We love all the players, the alumni, the players' parents. It makes it super special too. So that's super fun.
Totally.
Yeah.
You get to meet them. You get to meet them away from the stands and a little bit, and your own settings and stuff like that. So it's a lot more fun that way.
All right, Brooke. So thinking about you have an amazing career as a Longhorn, super decorated. What stands out to you most as your favorite time in Austin, or your favorite memories from baseball?
I think hosting 3 regionals in a row was a pretty fun time, and back in the olden days, as Kasey would say, we had, I think it was 8 teams there at a time, and there was, wasn't regionals and super regionals, so you got to see a lot of great baseball in one area, just in case, and nowadays, if you win it, if you host and you win, you're going to host a super, but it was a lot of fun back in the day playing in those regionals where there were a lot of teams there, a lot of great baseball, and you got to see a lot of superstars, a lot of big leaguers, and a lot of guys that went on to Hall of Fame careers that rolled through Austin, and I loved it.
Yeah, That's so awesome. Good stuff.
I can chime in to the last regional that Brooks was continuing to have all the he was our star, of course, pitching, hitting, everything. But he even got Coach Gus was out and went, took the microphone, because at those regionals they would do the all tournament, all regional team, and announce all that kind of stuff, and have all that kind of stuff when it was all concluded. But Coach Gus was out there and basically telling everybody in the stands that we had just probably seen the very best baseball player we might ever see at Texas. So that has always stuck in with me, because Coach Gus had a lot of good players. And
100%. And that reason I bring it up, because it always makes me tear up thinking about that day. But as you can see, I don't know if you can see the hat, but this is old school hat.
Oh, yep. Gus
Ball from back in the day when he was his radio show. And no, that was definitely, I mean, if you had to pinpoint one time, I was doing more on the playing time. But yeah, when he called me out there that day, unbeknownst to me that I was going to be going out there, and just with packed stands, and just after beating USC in a regional, that was the most incredible, up to that point, most incredible time of my life and career, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Brooks, out of all these awards that you have ever won, are there any that you like are super special to you, that mean a lot to you?
In all honesty, being voted by my teammates 3 years in a row as the MVP, that sticks out a lot to me, because I would have never been where I was without those guys. So for them to vote on that makes me feel really good about what we did there and what we accomplished as a team. But you can't drive any runs in without anybody on base. You can't get any outs with anybody, without people making plays. So those three MVP awards means a ton to me. I mean, obviously the two Dick Hausers, but that's still along the lines of the guys playing behind me and playing with me. So I mean, that's the way I view those awards, and wouldn't have been anywhere without them.
Awesome. I love that.
Is there because of course we were in the Southwest Conference back when you were playing, but was there which rivalry or series do you remember being standing out the most to you?
Well, I think going to play in College Station, I hate to give them any credit, but you go back in the day in Southwest Conference, you go to College Station and batting practice, the whole student section's already full. And for some reason they like to call me Elvis. I don't know what it was, but they were waving dollar bills and doing all this kind of stuff. So beating them and playing against them was a lot of fun. And I do remember, the one series we got to go to, Kasey, I don't remember, is when I was a freshman, we got to actually travel to Fayetteville. And that was the only time we played them there as a conference foe, because I think they went to the SEC.
Oh, that's right. They left after that.
Mm-hmm. That was pretty wild going there too, to what we all refer to as Vietnam. So
yep.
it lived up to its name. So we got through it and had a great time.
Yep.
I know. I'm looking forward to going to Arkansas's baseball stadium. I hear it's still an amazing place to play. Last season we went out to Mississippi State, and I fell in love with that stadium. I was like, I can come here. This is what we need to do, the dish. And make it amazing for the fans. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Fayetteville's all about now too. So
yeah, the left field lounge, and I don't know if y'all know this. I'm sure Kasey remembers, but I had verbally committed to Mississippi State out of high school.
Oh,
with the Ron Polk, who's just a fabulous human being. And but anyway, I am a little upset that I did not make that trip this year. When we go back in the following years, I will not miss that trip, because that is a really, really special place to go play baseball.
Yeah. I mean, I had heard about it, but I was very impressed, and I was in love with it. I was like, ladies, we just need to go on a girls' trip. They don't treat us queens up there.
I ain't playing.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a place, fabulous place, Starkville.
Love it.
Or Stark Vegas, as they call it now, too.
Yeah, Stark Vegas.
Yeah,
that's what cracks me up. Stark. How did playing for Coach Gus shape your development as a player and as a person? I know y'all were very close.
As a player, Coach Gus, he had this innate ability to coach everybody in a different way. He wasn't one. He didn't coach everybody the same way. He challenged me and said, if I don't quit playing like a freshman, I won't play. I'm like, well, I can tell you, I'll show you I can play. Other guys he would coddle a little bit. Other guys he would yell at. Other guys he would love on. So I mean, he had this way of knowing how to get the best out of every single guy that was on that team in all different ways. And I think that's what shaped me as was a ball player. He knew that to get me to be my best, he had to challenge me and tell me I couldn't do something, so I would show him that I can.
Yeah.
As far as a person, he was just, I mean, tremendous human being. Biggest heart, always had love for all his players and remembered every single player, whether you were a walk-on, a first rounder, never played, always played. He never forgot a name and always welcomed you back at that field. And that's what made that place so special, as being not only a player there, but also as an alumni there, the way you were always welcomed back at Dish Falk Field. And I'm hoping we get back to that with Schloss.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember, like, in his later years, and when you go to visit him, and his ability to remember, like, the minutest detail about a game. Like, you talk about the, it was the fourth inning and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, like, 2 outs, 3 can count, and this happened. I'm like, good night. I can't remember what I did yesterday. So he was tremendous like that. Yeah, he talking about married to baseball too. I mean, he kept score. I can't imagine what they did when they cleaned out his house of all the score.
Oh, there's a lot. We're still working on that.
Yeah.
I'm helping.
I'd love to get a hold of some of those videos too, because those are some really neat times and games that we played there.
Yep, I know. So fun. So fun.
Brooks, do you have like a favorite Coach Gus story?
Oh man, there's just so many. I mean, there's a lot of funny ones. But I think, one of the ones that was kind of seen by everybody was that same game y'all talked about, the 172 pitch game, where he had already visited me once and I still was struggling a little bit, and he started to come back out, which he had to take me out of the game. And I just kind of waved him back in the dugout. I said, no, you're not taking me out of this game. I got it. And he literally turned back around, walked in the dugout, and I ended up throwing 4 more innings and finishing the win. But just, even getting called into his office, it was a special moment. But my main one was when he finally called me on the phone when I was in high school, and I'd just gotten off the phone with D. Gus telling him I was going to Mississippi State. And about 10 minutes later, Coach Gus called and told me a story about, buying a Cadillac and telling some Cadillac dealer that you're going to, if you're going to buy it, you tell me to be there tomorrow. But then you walk down the street and then same exact Cadillac was for a better price. Which one are you going to buy? So I'll buy the one that's a better deal. And he goes, well, I'm offering you a better deal. You need to come to Texas. So I said, yes, sir. And they flew down the next day and signed me. And I can't go buy it again. So no, he hit it. I mean, just the way he put things in perspective and could tell you a story that made sense to you. You know what I mean? And explain to you why Texas was what it was, or why we're doing it this way, or why we're doing that. I mean, he just had an unbelievable way of explaining things to people.
And that's so fascinating, Brooks, also because you hit and you pitched in college, which like rarely ever happens. So, that's curious to think about, like, how did you feel about that? And is there moments that you really remember, and how did you balance both being a really good hitter and a starting pitcher in college? And like, how did Coach Gus, I don't know, like nowadays, I feel like that wouldn't even happen. So,
well, in all honesty, being, a redneck from South Texas going to the University of Texas, I didn't know what to expect, to tell you the truth. I knew that I had mentioned that I definitely wanted a chance to do both when I got there. But I got there 2 weeks late to school, so I already had roommates that I'd never met before. Because I was playing in a junior Olympic team in Cuba. So anyway, you get there and it's like, all right, well, go take some batting practice with Ty Harrington. I said, yes, sir. So we walk into the tunnel, because where the home dugout is now, used to be the visiting dugout, but we had tunnels underneath to take batting practice. I mean, we called it the dungeon. It was nasty and foul, but that's where we took batting practice if it was raining. But anyway, like I said, I didn't know if I was going to get redshirted. I had no idea what to expect. Nobody told me, and I didn't know anybody that had gone through the situation before. So I just went out and did what I knew how to do, and pitched in the fall and hit in the fall. And, come the opening series, we're playing against Miami. I'm batting third, and I'm the third pitcher. So I'm like, holy cow, this is what we do. So you just go out, you just kind of just go out and get it done, and, nowadays, kids know more than I'll ever know about college baseball and recruiting and all that other stuff. I just knew to show up and go play. And, that's the beauty of what we had back in the day with Coach Gus. And if you could play, you could play. There wasn't like, hey, you got to sit a year, you have to do this. He's going to put the best 9 on the field, no matter if you're a transfer or a freshman, whatever it is, you're going to play.
Yeah. Kind of love that. Kind of miss that simplicity a little bit.
Yeah.
You mentioned it though, like nowadays, college baseball is bigger than it's ever been. How have you seen it grow from when you were playing to now?
Well, facilities for one. I mean, we had turf. If you had a fly ball that bounces, it's going to bounce about 30 feet back up in the air and go over your head 100%. But no, facilities, recruiting. They even talk about recruiting now. If you don't have the best facilities on campus, that the kids are going to go, well, they don't have this, I'm going to go to this school instead. My dream was always to play at the University of Texas no matter what. And to have that opportunity was, a chance of a lifetime. And I truly cherish it and loved it. But nowadays, you still have a few kids that are like that, but a lot of kids are going because of facilities. They're going because of NIL. They're going because of this. They're going because of that. And I think it's really, you have to step up to the plate to keep the good players. I mean, like I said, you're going to have a few that are at the University of Texas or at A&M or at Oklahoma because they've always dreamed of going there. But a lot of kids these days are going to jump around and find the best deal they can find.
Yep. Yeah. It's like, Wild West out here.
It really is. It's crazy, but I think it's lost, first year in to do what he did with what he inherited and how he got in the portal and did this, that, and the other was pretty incredible. And I can't wait to see what he does this next year.
Yeah. We're all super excited. It'll be fun. Brooks, do you have like your favorite hit at Texas or your favorite pitching performance when you were at Texas?
Yes and no. I'll tell you two. Really, I don't know if they're number ones, but there's the ones that are popping in my head right now. And one of them was kind of, at the time, I thought it was very meaningless. We were down 9-3 against Miami with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th.
I remember that game.
This little left-hander comes in, and I didn't notice until after the game, but he had mouthed, "Who are you, buddy?" to me. And I hit one out of the yard and rolled around the bases, and I thought literally that was the most meaningless home run I've ever hit in my life. Well, we ended up tying the game, coming back and winning that game in like the bottom of the 12th or whatever it was. And so that was one of my, like I said, most memorable hits because it was Vince, my buddy Vinny, showed me the tape afterwards, and you can literally on TV the guy goes, "Who are you, buddy?" So I love that when we ended up winning that game. And then I remember too, is the regionals my sophomore year. We're playing Long Beach State. And it's I don't know if it's the top of the 9th or bottom of the 9th, but I'm on the mound and it's bases loaded, 3-2, 2 outs, and Jason Giambi's at the plate.
Oh.
And I threw a fastball right by him, and I told him, "You knew it was coming, you still couldn't hit it." So I mean, that was like talking a little trash back in the day too. So those are the two performances I kind of remember throwing against those guys, and that was Giambi being a perennial, all-star in the big leagues and stuff like that, and a really good friend. But it was one of those moments you remember.
That's awesome.
Well, when you talked about that game in 93, I remember then after that, because then I had already started working in the office. I was working, and I remember like all of a sudden, somebody from the Wild Bunch, I think, they dropped off these T-shirts that they had made that just said 9-3 in 93, and then it had like the score of that game. I wore that T-shirt like for
God, I'd love to get my hands on one of those.
I know it was
still circulating somewhere.
Maybe I'm sure
something was out.
Scott Wilson, I'm sure, has one somewhere.
100%.
in that museum that'll.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of that, we did get the catch the paper one morning there. Back in the day when we could still do that, we boxed out, and I think Tony Bassett caught it, and we got the trophy.
I love it.
Well, so you're kind of talking about staying at, you'd always dreamed of being at Texas and, that kind of thing. Talk a little bit about like the friendships you've made while from your time at Texas, being both players and coaches.
Sure. Well, I mean, you're proof of one sitting across from me on this podcast right now. We've been friends for over 30 years, which is amazing. And I love it so much. And it's just built throughout the years. But I mean, Jay Vaught, I mean, we were roommates as freshmen and still are great friends. John Dickens, Scott Harris. I mean, a lot of the guys that are on that team are still really tight. And I'm sure y'all have been invited or heard about them. They're doing the first Thursday of every month, doing the happy hours and stuff. And we've got guys from all eras now coming to those things. And it's a really testament to the brotherhood that happens at the University of Texas, and especially from the 70s through the 90s, or maybe in the 60s through the 90s and 2000s, So I think it's really, really special, the bonds that you build with your teammates and the people that are around the University of Texas, because it's not just baseball, but it's football, it's basketball, it's athletics, it's athletic department, it's the Diamonds, it's everybody. So that's the beauty of the University of Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I am on one of their text threads, and I do just sit back and laugh when they start getting into their storytelling. It is quite amusing.
I think that might be Conway's pal thread, is what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
It is a good one.
All right. So before we leave Texas and move on to like your major league career, do you remember, is there a specific moment where you were like, oh, I think I can make the big leagues? Like, I think I'm going to make it to the major leagues. When did that come as a reality?
So after my freshman year, or I don't know, I think we have exit interviews, you know what I mean? So you're in there with Coach Harmon, Coach Gus, Darren Gustafson, Ty Arrington, and I think Coach Bouchon. And we're sitting there, we're all, they go over there like, hey, what you did this year, what you need to do to get better next year and for the following year, and what you need to work on and all that kind of stuff, and where you're going to go play in the summer. Well, we go in there for that, and they go, well, hey, we figure you're only going to be here for 3 years, and you're going to be a first-round draft pick, and you're going to go play in the big leagues. And I'm like, holy cow, that wasn't on my bingo card for today. You know what I mean? I just want to play. I just want to get better. I just want to go win the World Series. So it was kind of wild to hear that from the coaches after, my freshman year, going, well, shit, maybe I can do this. This is going to be amazing. This is going to be so much fun. So then it puts in your mind, and that's another thing, like Coach Gus telling a freshman that and putting that in my mind. Well, like, yeah, I can do that. Well, let's go do it then. Well, you know what I mean? So I think that's kind of when I really thought that, like, hey, I can go do this, and let's go get it done.
That's awesome. I love that. Like, super humble, like, like you said, just showing up to play baseball, and then like see what happens, and having, kind of not assuming too much.
No, just having somebody believing you that much, and not going in there going, hey, I'm going to be here 3 years. I'm going to be a first round draft pick. I had no idea if I was going to be redshirted. I had, you don't know, and but when they start people believing you like that and put it in your mind, you're going to start believing it. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of what the coaching staff that I had for my 3 years there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is definitely.
So someone on your coaching staff, you mentioned a couple times. Yes, I had a kind of a funny one. So I think you might have heard, we had Ty on maybe a month ago. Mm-hmm. He has told us that he's threatened us that he better be back on in February. So I want to know if you can share it with us. What is your favorite Ty Harrington story now?
Well, so it goes back to my freshman year, because he was our coach that year. He was a grad assistant. Mm-hmm. And he was the guy that took me over in the cage right when I got there. And he told me batting practice, and I'm hitting in there. And of course, I'm nervous and swinging, and I guess I have a pretty good, 3 or 4 rounds. And I remember Ty telling me years later that he had told Coach Gus when he walked back in there, he goes, hey, I just found your 3-hole hitter. Like, that's what Ty told me. I'm like, wait, what? Why didn't you tell me that? It's like, well, I had to go report back to Coach Gus. He goes, hey, I found you a 3-year-old hitter after the first round of BP that I took with him. So that was one of my favorite Ty Harrington stories. And just talking about a fabulous human being, that guy, man, what he's battled, what he's gone through, what he's accomplished. Just a great, great human being.
And hilarious. Can tell some good stories.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fabulous. Really.
Yeah.
Well, since you were like a two-way player, what do you think? Like, obviously, I don't know if I can say his name right. Otani. I don't know how to say his first name.
That's right.
Yeah. You know, and of course he's, you know, killing it, everything. But what do you think? Like, are there more guys out there that you think have a chance of being able to do that? Playing both ways.
So the guy from Florida, that Jock Caglione, or I think that's I don't know if I think it was Royals, right? I don't know if they're going to allow him to do that. I know he's up there hitting right now. The thing with it is, I threw hard, but I wasn't a power pitcher. Does that make sense? I threw like, low 90s. These guys are pumping 98 to 100, and they're putting a lot of strain on their arm. And Otani, being a left-handed power hitter, it's not like he's punching Judy hitter, so his right arm is in the front too, so he's putting a lot of strain on that too. I don't know if he can sustain being a starting pitcher and a DH for I don't know how long he can do it. I think he can choose one, or I think if he's a relief pitcher and pitch, maybe 1 or 2 days in a row and then took 3 or 4 days off. But you can't, I don't think you can go out there and throw, 80, 90 pitches every 5 days and put that kind of strain on his arm in between starts as well. So, I mean, he'll know his own body. I mean, he's already had 2 Tommy Johns, so you can do the math on that. I mean, do you want to have him have a third one and then take that lethal bat out of the lineup? I don't know. Don't get me wrong. When he's right on the mound, he is electric and is really fun to watch. It's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Well, I love it. So once you were drafted, Brooks, do you remember like feeling any extra pressure or expectations that came with that?
I don't know. When you first get there, you're the first rounder, right? And all the kids, because you go to extended spring training, all they're like, oh, here's the bonus, baby. Here's the first rounder. You kind of feel like that a little bit, but after that, you just kind of go play again. You know what I mean? I was there a week and extended, and then went to Daytona for a week, and then went to AA for the rest of the season. So it was one of those things where you kind of make the rounds throughout the lower A balls and stuff like that, and then you just go play. You know what I mean? And you kind of it just becomes a game again. And yes, I mean there's some microscopes on you, but you kind of just do what you do and let everything else take care of itself.
Okay. What was it like just moving around? I mean, when you had to, you got traded or whatever, and
that's one thing I never did was get traded. Can you believe that?
Oh, no.
I cannot believe I was always wanting to be in a trade, because if somebody went and traded for you, that they really wanted you on their team, So, but I love the travel. Everybody, bitches about the bus rides or the plane rides or the 5 a.m. wake ups. I loved it. I love traveling. I love staying in new hotels. I love going to new cities, because I guarantee you, in any other occupation I would have chose out of college, I'd have never got to see, not even a percentage of what I got to see playing 13 years of professional baseball.
Yeah.
And the crazy stuff, the podunk towns to the 5-star Michelin restaurants. I would never gotten to see any of that stuff if I would have just chose, a different occupation out of college.
Good perspective.
Yeah, very good perspective.
A lot of fun.
When did you get married?
I got married in 1999.
Y'all got married when you're obviously still playing.
Still playing, yes. So we got married in 99. January 16th. I know the date, so just in case y'all are gonna test me on that, I do know it's Danielle Washington was 1999, January 16th. So in Cabo San Lucas, San Jose, a little white and a little yellow chapel. So I know all that.
Love it.
Very good.
We had so she got to be a part of I guess 6 years of it, almost 7.
Yeah.
But the year I was she was gonna actually come like, be a baseball wife. I got hurt. So we go back home and go to work. So, but she traveled out probably every week or two, probably every couple of weeks she was out, wherever I was. And we had a blast. Yeah. It was a lot of fun and, just a lot of good times.
Good. So during your whole MLB journey, Brooks, like what were some of the big ups for you? And what did you enjoy most about it? Where some of those
I think the one of the first big ups was breaking camp out of with the Cubs in 1996. So I had 2 full years and then break camp in 96. Just like, hey, you're going to the big leagues. Like, holy cow, I'm going to the big leagues. It was like, it's surreal, being 23 years old and about to head to the big leagues. You know what I mean? And I was only up there because Dave Magadan had a broken wrist, but still, I didn't care. I was there. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then getting called back up in August of that year when Sammy Sosa broke his hand, so then I got to play pretty much every day towards the end of the year. And I guess, I had a 2-homer game in 96 with the Cubs, which is it was pretty awesome. Just to me, every day in the big leagues was the most special day because it can be taken away from you in a heartbeat and you don't know when it's coming, but it is for everybody that's up there.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to cherish every day that I got to put that uniform on and walk into a big league stadium was probably the best day of my career that day. So it was just that neat. I mean, and trust me, I had a lot of over 4 strikeout days, but I had some good days too mixed in there too. So, but just being able to put on that uniform, it was I think it still is, but to me back in the day, and I think everybody would attest to me back in the day, 20 plus years ago, that it was a privilege and an honor, and nobody took it for granted.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah. I know I had this one stat that I read about you that I thought was interesting that I didn't know. I was like, this is like a fun trivia. In 2003, you became the first player in MLB history to hit home runs as a pitcher, as a designated hitter, and as a pinch hitter in the same season.
That's correct, and gave some up too.
Yeah,
that's that there. Nobody else will to beat that.
I know. I was like, that's a fun fact. It's like,
yeah, I don't know if anybody else has done that yet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So being in all these different settings, all these different major league ballparks, is there a story that you're able to share from the dugout or locker room that's fun, but that is still able to
get in trouble?
Yeah.
We are an explicit podcast, though, so you can.
I feel like Vinny has there's some stories out there.
Vinny had multiple personalities roll through on the visiting side. He wasn't with the same people all the time, so you get to see a lot of cool stuff. Well, there's a few snaps here and there, that were like, holy cow, that was amazing, and that's going to cost him a lot of money. Type snaps.
Yeah.
We had a guy threw a bat through. We had a steam room, and he threw a bat, and it went straight through the glass in the steam room. We had one guy that was trimming his nose hairs and went too far up and hit an artery, or not an artery, but hit a thing and just was he had to go on the DL.
Oh my gosh.
There was just baseball players are kind of idiots sometimes, at certain times we're just like, I cannot believe that just happened type stuff. You know what I mean? And those are some of them that did. And they're all, when they say, you have a grown man playing the kids sports, well, a lot of them act like kids too. So it was, people would take remote control race cars and go racing around the outfield before the game and stuff like that. And it was so funny because one guy does it, and then all of a sudden 10 guys have them. It was just must-be do with a lot of the random stuff that went on certain teams. So, but I do still play fantasy football with a lot of the guys I play with the Brewers.
Oh,
a lot. Okay. It's really cool. Yeah.
I was going to ask her, which team do you feel like you're most connected to?
I would say the Brewers. I spent the most time in the big leagues with those guys. I still have a really big place in my heart with the Cubs, just because that's the team that drafted me.
Mm-hmm.
Reds, I still have friends, but I mean, I was there and I felt like, I don't know why I was in the big leagues with them. I just set the bench for like a month. I appreciate the time. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate the big league time, but and then the Rockies, I still have a couple of buddies, but I mean, I think the Brewers and the Cubs are my two teams that I really, I still have ties with.
And it's funny because like in the MLB, those are two big rivals, you know?
Huge, huge rivals.
Yeah.
And I loved it too, because, you know, I never played against the Brewers when I was with the Cubs, and I played against the Cubs when I was with the Brewers and hit a home run against them and pitched against them. So it was a lot of fun there too, you know, and I don't know if y'all know, if y'all been to Wrigley. I'm assuming y'all have when y'all went to Texas Notre Dame for sure. But the bullpen for the visitors is right along the left field or the right field line, and the fans are literally like 2 feet from you.
Yeah.
So when you get up to warm up, you're gonna wear it a little bit. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun warming up there.
Yeah, forever. I mean, Mark and I went to Wrigley every single summer for probably a good, I don't know, 15 years. Just because, love Chicago, love the Cubs, and it was like a constant. It was so fun. But yeah, and that was an unbelievable day when all of us were there for the Notre Dame game, and then everybody, I think who was a Texas fan, went to that Cubs game, and we started singing the Eyes of Texas at Wrigley Field. Was like amazing. So
and there was the left field and right field were going at it. It was amazing. That was so fun. We were actually in right field. I had my dad there. We had a buddy of mine and his dad, and another guy and his dad there. It was a really, really cool time.
Yeah, Barnes' dad was just talking about that just a few weeks ago. He was remembering that and talking about how that was like the most unique,
highlight,
coolest thing.
And I went to the bar called the Lodge, which I hadn't been since I played. And the same guy was still in there bartending, the owner. I'm like, no way. And he recognized him, and holy cow. I was like, you got to be kidding me, dude. I hadn't been in here since like 2005. And he was still there.
Still there.
And the same cop outside was still there.
Yeah. Well, if you own a bar in Wrigleyville, you better keep it, man. You know?
Yeah.
So.
No doubt. And that's another story. I don't know if we can tell on this podcast, but we actually got a ride from the cop to a bar. It was great.
Oh. Good. It's good.
Yeah.
He must have recognized you.
He did. It was fun. We actually I got in the front, and a couple other people got in the back.
Yeah.
Well, since you randomly, as you said, 2005, and that kind of it's like both football and baseball won national championships. Mm-hmm. But tell us what it's like to be the parent of a guy on our football team now.
I tell you, there's nothing better. You can take everything you said before the podcast started and all the accomplishment, all that stuff. Nothing better than watching my son run out of that tunnel. I mean, it is super, super neat. And I get more nervous watching him do anything than my daughter when she was playing, the sports in high school too, that I ever did playing on my own. So that, all my accomplishments, you can put all those aside. My two kids are my two biggest ones. So.
Oh, great.
That's awesome.
Very excited for him to be a part of what he's been able to be a part of. For sure.
And it's so he changed numbers this year.
Oh.
Yeah, he was 68 the first 2 years in football, and now he's number 69.
Okay.
And the happiest person in my family is my daughter, because she's going I cannot wait to buy a ton of merch. So it's gonna be a lot of fun here.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Oh, that's great. So awesome.
Having a great fall. He's having a great fall and really enjoying it, and just having a blast.
Do you have any football road trips planned?
Oh yeah, anyone he travels on, I will be on for sure.
Okay.
I do want to go to Georgia. I've never been to Athens. I want to go check that out. Where else? Obviously, I don't really call it a travel, but going to Texas OU for sure. Last year I went to Arkansas. I mean, I think I only missed like 2 games last year of all games. So I'm going to try to make a bunch.
When do you get the work?
I usually make them the week of if I'm going to go or not. So as far as plans, only a few are planned, and the other ones I'll just fly by the seat of my pants.
Wing it. Yeah.
I know where I can find a tailgate for sure. So y'all all be there.
Yeah.
Somewhere I can find y'all somewhere. Y'all gonna be at the game. So
Well, is there anything else anything else you feel like you need to share with us?
I mean, no, I'll just save it for next time. But no, this has been a blast, and I definitely like Ty said, would love to come back on. Getting close to even during football season, we can do it again. But definitely, you know, baseball season, maybe right before the alumni game, and
Yes.
and then a couple times during the season would be great because I mean, I'll have a little perspective on what I see with baseball, and
That'd be great.
I like to have some good BS about something else too. So it was a lot of fun.
We always love to chat. Well, Mark Pena has been texting me saying, "Tell Brooks I love him."
Oh, I love him too. He knows that. Tell him I love him, and can't wait to see you guys. I guess August. No, when is the first? September 6th or something like that.
September
Or
6th.
something.
Uh-huh.
August 30th is Ohio State.
I know. Are any of y'all going?
No.
No.
Unless my son travels, I will not be going there either because I don't feel like fighting the first week of football.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went last time, and yeah, we got in plenty of fights. And then when we won, I had a lovely little Ohio State fan lady, and she's like, y'all need to turn your shirts inside out. We were like, well, they're orange on the inside too. And she was like, oh no. She's like, did you bring clothes to change? We were like, no. She was like, please stay in a big group and stay in a well-lit area. She's like, I'm very concerned about your safety. And I was like, holy moly. You know,
my friend said he got punched like 6 or 7 times leaving the stadium, which is ridiculous. I'm going to turn around and punch back.
Yeah. I'm very mouthy, so definitely not. That's not a place that I should be attending any kind of.
Oh, I would love to see that though. I would love to see that.
Well, you've seen it.
What in that setting? Because I've never been to Columbus, so like that sounds great.
I haven't been either, but I heard all their stories, and I was like, oh no.
I'm good. Unless my son goes, I'm not going. But
Yeah. I don't need to go back.
the ladies of left field, I truly enjoyed it, and I can't wait to be back on, and I can't wait to see you all in person and have a adult beverage with y'all.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers. Thank you, Brooks. This was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, y'all. So for my hot girl headlines for this week, I'm going to stay on my baseball theme. Let's talk about the American League. Right now in the East, the Blue Jays are in front. In the Central, the Detroit Tigers are leading that, followed closely by the Guardians. In the West, the Astros are still leading. They're ahead of the Mariners and the Rangers. In the National League, in the West, it's the Dodgers still leading that. In the Central, Brooks's Brewers and Cubs are still fighting it out. The Brewers are leading just ahead of the Cubs. So, again, 2 of Brooks's teams. In the East, the Phillies are holding strong at that top spot. So, super competitive in baseball. It's getting fun. A couple of cool things that happened also. Julio Rodriguez made history by becoming the first player to ever record 20 home runs and 20 stolen bases in each of his first 4 seasons. So that's awesome. That's like super impressive. He also is hitting his 100th career homer in the Mariners. He hit it, and the Mariners win 5-4 over the Rangers. So that's pretty awesome. We talked about Brooks being the first player to do something kind of cool, and this kid Julio Rodriguez is doing something as well. Other kind of cool thing recently in baseball is the Rangers beat the Yankees 8-5. It went extra innings. Josh Jung had a walk-off 3-run homer in the 10th. So that's pretty cool. So fun stuff in baseball. It's getting really good. Everything's kind of getting meaningful. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, Yankees are kind of having a bunch of like real random or like just bad defense. I saw some highlights over like the past 10 games or something, and just the random errors were like, whoa, that didn't look like a team that was supposed to be battling for playoff type position. So we'll see.
And relevant to our guest Brooks that was just on, the Texas Longhorns are the #1 team in the nation in the preseason poll. We are less than a month from football season starting. Texas and Ohio State will face off in Columbus on August 30th, and those are the #1 and #2 teams in the nation. The SEC has, I believe, Texas has 3 other top 25 opponents on their schedule, and rounding out the top 5, it was Texas, Ohio State, Georgia, Notre Dame, Penn State are the top 5 teams. So that'll be a fun one week 1, and probably good that none of us are going because I know how spicy we all can be.
No,
Very
we were talking about it last weekend, and we were like, we can't start number 1. We were like, there has to be.
What makes me nervous?
Yeah, we were all brainstorming it and just chatting about it, and you hear it. They came out, and we were like, all right, there we are. Let's go.
It makes me nervous, man.
Yeah.
But I've been listening to a few little interviews that they have, especially the ones online, like that new LHN streaming platform thing, whatever. Anyway, some of the guys, they just are really impressing me. And DeAndre Moore, he would be my favorite now. He is, I like what he says, but I also have watched that they had like clips from him from their fan day back in the spring. And he was just so awesome with the fans, with little kids, with older women, like women wearing their t-shirts that had his name on it. He goes, "Oh, I like your shirt." Like he just, it was like, taking pictures with them, just everything about him. I was like, oh my gosh, I love you.
I would say this can be a topic for next week because I feel like we could discuss this forever, but I've had multiple people, they know I'm a Texas fan, ask me how I feel about Arch. So we definitely we got to revisit that week, maybe next week.
I think the next several weeks, we're about to jump into football pretty much.
I know. It's so close.
Football. Yeah. Awesome. Football. Well, my hot girl headline is related to the Dallas Cowboys because, it wouldn't be preseason football without the Dallas Cowboys, stirring things up in one way or another. So Micah Parsons comes out Friday with his statement on X that he wants to trade. And of course, I was like, oh no. And didn't really like it. And then, of course, everybody else, people around me are calming me down. They're like, he's not getting traded. Jerry tells us all, don't lose sleep. But I'll tell you, if he doesn't get this stuff figured out, he's going to have a bounty on his head. Jerry Jones, that is, if he doesn't already. And that's what, But I do like seeing that, saw it last night, Micah's still right out there at practice. He's not practicing, but he's out there, following around everybody. And I think he really likes the coach, Schottenheimer. So I feel like if they can just get this worked out, everything will be okay. But, it is, like I said, you can't have a preseason without some drama from the Dallas Cowboys.
Up the truth. Jerry's always got to mess it up, man. I'll tell you what.
It's like, come on. And I am hearing, or I don't know if I'm hearing, but I started looking and seeing things that I really think Jaden Blue is going to have a good shot at playing a lot because there's no other running backs. So we've got him and CD Lamb and Pickens are appearing to do really well. So as long as all these people stay healthy, maybe we have. I just want some good competitive fun football to watch in the fall.
I agree.
Really neat.
Yeah, Jaden Blue played great.
Yes.
Dak's got to stay healthy. Everybody's got to stay healthy, and we will see what the Cowboys can throw together.
Do it for you. Yep. So I guess that's it for this week.
Yeah. We will see y'all in left field.
See y'all in left field.